Hello, everybody. I'm Karryshh, your best host for horror recaps. There's always once in a while where we find ourselves looking for a good date night horror movie. Well, today I found one which you guys might like for date nights, but I don't know what's this recap till end. It's called Tomb Watcher, and it's about a couple living their worst nightmare between their complex relationship as well as a haunted house. Now, if you're new, give this video a thumbs up. Our today's like target is just 100 likes. Share it with your friends and subscribe. The more you engage with my videos, the more people can find my channel. Also connect with me on Instagram where I try to reply every one of you. With that said, grab your snacks and enjoy this recap I made for you. Tomb Watcher. Thai horror movie. So this demonic story starts with a man named Chief who's looking troubled while he's watching inside a tomb. Basically, the tomb is a coffin. Then we get some exposition about Chief's love story and the scene shifts into the past. Chief was an artist and one day he met a girl named Lunam. He fell in love with her and soon they got married. They were happily together and Chief was a great husband. But one day, something happened to Lunam. She suddenly collapsed and fainted. Turns out she had this strange illness where sometimes when she falls asleep, she wouldn't wake up for days. Because of this strange illness, one day she passed away and her body was placed in a tomb just like Snow White. Then the story shifts to a girl named Ross who just lost her job. She was struggling financially but secretly she had a boyfriend from Bangkok, something she didn't tell anyone, especially her family. Ross was kind of a party girl, and one night she went out to a bar with her friends. While dancing, she suddenly saw a dark shadow figure that scares her. Then, out of nowhere, everyone in the bar disappeared, and that shadow kept haunting her until suddenly she wakes up, realizing it was just a dream. Finally, we meet Ross's boyfriend, who turns out to be none other than Chief, the man whose wife had just died. After his wife's death, Chief moved in with Ross, but the shocking part is his wife's funeral hadn't even happened yet. Despite that, Chief and Ross were already talking about marriage, so maybe the shadow haunting Ross is actually Luntam's spirit. Told you the story isn't complex. Anyway, the scene flashes back again and we're shown how Ross and Chief first met. One day while Ross was on a smoke break, she ran into him. They smoked together and after that, Chief kept appearing around her office and slowly their affair began. Back in the present, Chief today gets some agreement papers from Luntam's family. Ross asks him about it but he doesn't explain. Later that day, Chief takes Ross deep into the forest where he shows her a massive, beautiful house. Ross is stunned when Chief tells her that this house is theirs. We learn that Luntam's family gave this house to him since he was Luntam's husband. And now Chief plans to live there with Ross. But of course, there's something very creepy about this place that we will discover later. The house was huge and luxurious, which made Ross extremely happy. She'd grown up poor and had never lived anywhere like this. That night they celebrated, but then Ross noticed a strange man staring at him from outside. Chief grabbed a gun and went after him, but the man ran off. However, it's revealed that the man was actually a shaman from a nearby village where people practice black magic. Not only this, but that same shadowy presence kept watching both Ross and Luntam. Later that night, Ross and Chief get intimate and afterwards she goes to take a bath. She goes underwater for a moment but suddenly she sees Luntam's ghost, which terrifies her. She was shaken, but she doesn't tell Chief anything. After this, late at night, Ross wakes up to find Chief missing from the bed. She looks around the house, and then a door creaks open on its own. She follows some sound outside and she comes across a small shed. When she enters, she sees something demonic. Inside a tomb lies Luntam's body. She was there too and he gets a shock when he sees her there, but he finally tells Ross the shocking truth. Remember the agreement I told you about? Well, in that agreement something was weird. Luntam's family wanted Chief to stay in this house and take care of Luntam's dead body for 100 days. Only after this task, Luntam's family would give him the house. In other words, the house wasn't his yet. Now Ross was shocked, but Chief reassured her that it was only a matter of 100 days and after that, they could get married and live happily ever after. Tempted by the promise of wealth, Ross agreed in the end. Now from here we go back to the past. We see one day Lunam went to Chief's office and she caught him hooking up with Ross. That's when Lunam realized that Chief had been cheating on him. Then that night she confronted him about the affair, but Chief didn't really feel guilty at all. Since Lunam was sick and she couldn't satisfy him, he didn't see anything wrong with it. This broke Lunam's heart, but she didn't fight with him because deep down she knew she needs him due to her illness. Without him, she will die. Then after that day, Lunam brought Chief to that same house in the forest and she gave it to him in the name of their love, which was already dead. Now obviously Ross acted all happy, but maybe it's possible Lunam arranged that evil agreement beforehand, knowing she would later come back as a demonic spirit to take her revenge if something went wrong. And maybe she was right, something did went wrong. Now back in the present, Ross was making breakfast when Lunam's evil spirit appeared behind her and she grabbed her hand. She was about to slice Ross's finger off when Chief walked in and the spirit vanished. That day, Chief took Ross to a hill nearby for a romantic date. The view distracted Ross from Lunam for a while, but soon she stumbled upon another small shed. Inside, she found Lunam's portraits and they were all painted by Chief. Now she was jealous and that's why Ross asked Chief to paint her instead. They go to a nearby river to get this done, but while painting, Chief suddenly lost control of his body and he ended up drawing Lunam's portrait instead of Ross's, which obviously infuriates Ross even more and she storms out of there. Now even Chief was confused. He has no idea how it happened. That night he chopped down a tree outside from the house because Lunam had dedicated that tree in the name of her and Chief's love. This made Ross feel a little better and she forgave him. Now later that night, while sleeping, Ross has a terrifying dream. Lunam's evil spirit strangled her so hard that her soul felt like it was shaking. She woke up in shock, only to see Lunam's spirit lying beside her in place of Chief. Ross screamed, Chief woke up and he comforted her, and at that point, Ross wanted to leave the house but Chief insisted that they had to stay, especially Ross. Now Ross doesn't understand this, why does she have to stay? But here he reveals another thing. You see, in that agreement, it's also mentioned that Ross must stay with Chief for 100 days in this house or else they wouldn't get the property. This basically proves here that Lunam had planned all of this before her death. Now somehow Chief managed to convince Ross to stay, but meanwhile Lunam's spirit was weeping in anger. Once again, we go back in the past. We see Lunam having another one of her sleep episodes. The doctors had warned Chief that whenever this happened, he needed to lay her down properly and keep her on glucose or she would die. And during one of those episodes when Lunam was sleeping, Ross came to their house and Chief told her that he only loves her, not Lunam. However, what he didn't realize was that even in her sleep, Lunam could hear everything. And obviously that broke her heart. Then after Lunam woke up from her episode, she went to meet Ross one night. Lunam warned her to stay away from her husband, but Ross wasn't scared. She knew that Lunam was powerless to actually do anything. Then that same night, while arguing with Chief, Lunam started smoking, even though she was allergic to smoke. Chief put the cigarette away, but Lunam now starts begging him for loyalty. She didn't want him to cheat anymore. Lunam wanted to put their past behind, but Chief refused. And soon, Lunam had another attack. She started collapsing and she begged him for help. But this time, Chief didn't lift a finger. Her heart broke and that's how she died, because of her own husband who refused to help, because Chief was now fed up with his wife. Back in the present, Chief was living happily with Ross, and honestly, Ross wasn't much less demonic herself. She even went and put out her cigarette right on Lunam's tomb. That obviously enraged Lunam's spirit, and then that night, she appeared and grabbed Ross by the throat. Lunam screamed and then flung Ross across the room. That's when Chief rushed in to help, but the spirit disappeared. Now, whatever Lunam did made Ross furious, and in anger, she went and started smashing Lunam's tomb with a stick. Chief stopped her, but that's when Ross admitted the Lunam spirit was in their house. Of course, Chief didn't believe her. Not once he had seen the spirit, but Ross kept seeing the ghost again and again. So basically, Lunam's spirit was purposely hiding herself from Chief, making Ross look like she was losing her mind. Now days passed by and Ross grew weaker and more exhausted. Then one day, Chief drove off somewhere, leaving her alone. The moment he left, Lunam appeared and finally begins the most terrifying haunting scene of this movie. First, the spirit shoved Ross to the ground, grabbed her by the leg, and dragged her across the floor. Ross managed to cling to the stair railing, but after a while her hand slipped onto a nail that pierced right through her palm. Still, the spirit doesn't stop, and the nail ended up butchering her hand. Then the ghost dragged her down the stairs and slammed her onto the floor. Ross tried to run, but the main door slammed shut. She ran the other way, but Lunam crushed her face so hard, her teeth cracked. Then the TV flicked on by itself, and Lunam appeared in it. Then in the next moment she was outside the window, and in the next moment she was upstairs. But then she ran toward Ross, launching an evil attack. Somehow Ross grabbed herself a knife and lunged at the spirit, but just then, Chief came back and stopped her. The moment he appeared, all of Ross's injuries vanished. There was no blood, no wounds, nothing. And obviously to Chief, it looked like she was hallucinating. And that's why he even went out and get her depression meds. That night she went to where Lunam's body was kept, but she found the entire cabin filled with candles. Not only that, but to her horror, she saw Chief getting intimate with Lunam's corpse. Ross screamed, but in the blink of an eye, everything looked normal again. It was as if the spirit was playing mind game with her. By this point, Chief was fed up with Ross's behavior, and he was now frustrated with her. Now the next day, Ross went to the nearby village and brought back the shaman. The shaman tried to banish Lunam's spirit through a ritual. He sacrificed a rooster, covered his own face with some kind of talisman, and then poured the rooster's blood on himself. He then performed a strange, eerie ritual dance, and watching this, Ross felt hopeful. Maybe this will work. And at the same time, inside the tomb, worms began crawling all over Lunam's body. Seeing this, Chief panicked and he began dumping ice all over her body to preserve it. At the same time, it started raining outside and Chief saw the shaman. Furious, Chief grabbed his gun and chased him off, threatening him to never come back. Here, Ross stops Chief and tells him that the shaman was actually helping them get rid of Lunam's spirit. But obviously, hearing this makes Chief even angrier because he believes there was no spirit in the house. This argument breaks into a full-on fight, and at this point, Ross starts to feel like Chief is actually siding with that spirit, and she completely loses it. After this, Ross packs up her thing and decides to leave the house. Of course, Chief tries to stop her since if she leaves, he won't get the house, but Ross is done. Out of desperation, Chief clings to her and he starts crying. And here finally, he tells her the truth. He confesses that Lunam died because of him. Chief let her die so he could be with Ross. But even after hearing this, Ross still leaves because she was done and she refuses to stay. Right after she leaves, Lunam's evil spirit attaches itself to Chief. Soon, Ross has driven far away from the house, but suddenly, she feels guilty for abandoning Chief. She decides to go back, but the situation has completely changed. When she gets home, she finds Chief lying strangely in the bathtub, and he was actually possessed. Ross apologizes to him and tries to comfort him, but Chief only tells her that she should never have come back. Trying to show some more affection, Ross begins cutting his hair, but at the same time, Chief is scratching his nails against the wood until they break. Immediately, Ross runs to get something to clean the blood, but possessed Chief rises. He walks away, and in the mirror, instead of Chief, we see Lunam's reflection. Now Ross follows Chief into a dark place, and she finds him standing there, wearing Lunam's dress, which shocks her completely. Now possessed Chief attacks Ross with a knife. She tries to defend herself, hitting him with a bowl, but he still manages to injure her badly and he throws her out the window. Ross keeps on running for her life, but Chief is now fully demonic. He lifts her into the air and begins strangling her while laughing maniacally. To save himself in the end, Ross stabs him in the neck with a piece of glass, but it doesn't unalive him. He just pulls it out like nothing happened. She then runs again, grabs a gun and shoots him in the leg, dropping him for a moment, but Chief gets back up almost immediately. Seeing Chief demonic like that, Ross was horrified and now she runs toward her car, only to find her car locked. Now since Chief was after her, she has no choice but to run away into the woods. She runs for a long time, but no matter where she goes, Chief keeps finding her. Eventually, she reaches a river where Chief shoves her into the water. He pins her down and smashes her head against a rock. In that moment, Ross cries out to Lunam, saying no matter what she does, she will never love her. That enrages Lunam's spirit and she brutally smashes Ross's head against the stone and she left her sinking underwater. However, just before losing consciousness, Ross hears Lunam screaming at her that she won't die that easily. After this, Ross suddenly wakes up inside the tomb. She was trapped while Lunam's evil spirit circles around her. This spirit first torments her and then throws her out of the tomb and down the stairs, causing Ross to break her leg bone. Lunam's spirit now screamed so loud and she says that Ross never should have come back, which makes everything clear. You see, Lunam's spirit only wanted Ross to run away so she could have Chief to herself. But since Ross returned, that dream was shattered and her spirit became enraged. Now after this, Ross wakes up again and she sees Lunam dragging her back into the house. Not only that, but Chief is still possessed. The scene cuts there and in the final shot, we see Chief inside the tomb. He regains consciousness only to realize that Lunam's dead body has him bound. He now screams like a madman while Ross was also trapped in the tomb, but she was under it. Basically, now both Chief and Ross are gonna live with Lunam's rotting corpse and they're gonna pay for their sins. And this is where the movie ends. So this was the recap video of the movie Tomb Watcher and I hope you have liked this video. Now give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends and subscribe. Our today's like target is only 100 likes and I again tell you your free support is something that helps me out tremendously. Now to get updates about this channel, you must go and join the Telegram and you can connect with me personally on Instagram where I try to reply every single one of you. You can find all my links in the pinned comment and the description box. Also subscribe my mystery channel and now I'll see you all in the next one. Till then, have a great day, stay safe cause they always see you.